Hello. Oh, yeah. Hi. Yeah. Hi. This is Save Room Cast 11. The magic number. Numerology 1-1. 1 plus 1 is 2, which is my magical number.
Which is Cinco de Mayo.
Which was 3 days ago, so we're late. Wait.
3 days ago. It's today.
Oh, today's Cinco de Mayo.
Hello.
I thought you were saying that, like, 2 was Cinco. Oh, duh. Cinco's 5. Shut up. Don't say anything. Do you know what your magic number is? You probably don't.
Magic number?
Yeah.
I always see 13 a lot.
But then that would be 4, because 1 plus 3 is 4.
So, I guess. 513 is something I always see. Like, literally. My mom and I have a thing to where we see it at least once a day. 513.
Because that's like your birthday.
No, bitch.
Why do you always see 513 everywhere?
I don't know. It's just something I do. Like, my dad even did it too. Like, all three of us would always see it every day. Yeah. My mom
Go ahead.
Oh, no. Like, my mom will even, like, text me sometimes and be like,
513, what the fuck?
I just found it. 513. I'm like, ooh.
Weird. I wonder what that means.
I don't know.
Well, 5 plus 1 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. So are you really seeing 9, or are you seeing 5 plus 3? Because now, when you see 9, are you going to think that too? You're going to see more 9s? Like, look at the clock right now. What's it say?
909?
No, which is 18. 1 plus 8 is 9.
Bitch,
so
I just see 513. Literally saw it on the way home from track. I was on track number 5 out of 13.
718, though.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be something crazy. I do see a lot of numerology where I'll like look at my clock on in my Optima, and it's like a lot of times, like right now, what was it? It's 718. That means it was 717 when I was looking, like the first time. But I always see 717. That's my birthday, and I see 717 all the fucking time. Sometimes I'll like look at the clock, like not looking at my watch at all day, or like a clock period, and then I'll look and it's 717. And I'm like, ooh. Even when my magic number is supposed to be 2, I always see 7s like way more often.
Yeah, I always see 513.
Which, wait.
Weird.
717, that's 14 plus 1, that's 15. 1 plus 5 is 6. So really, is that just 6? Yeah.
Maybe since we see it, my family died in a past life together on 513. And that's why we always see it in this life.
What the fuck? That's kind of a sad way of looking at it. I mean, you could say the exact opposite, where like, you know, there was like some magically great thing happened on 513. Not everyone died.
No, we probably died.
That's fucked up. I wonder why you and your mom... Does your dad not have that experience, or does your dad just not care?
He doesn't really care. Like, he used to. And I think it started because of him.
Mm-hmm.
But, I don't know.
You should have your dad on the podcast.
No.
Yeah! Just a no automatic. You don't want my mom on the podcast because she'll talk the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, it's a podcast. You're supposed to talk the whole time, but we're just like, ugh. And
literally her talking for
it's
an
literally
hour.
just my mom talking the whole time. That's what I mean. Not yeah, and then she'll tell the same story like 3 or 4 different times, and then she'll get to the end of the podcast and talk about the first story. Then I'm trying to cut it off at the hour, and it's like, stop! Oh my god, we haven't even. And it's just, I'll just call it Momcast instead. Yeah,
We should do that one time.
No, I really don't. I've thought about when we were doing the game recordings, I thought about having my mom sit down, but my mom is like too goofy. And I'm sure everyone would love that one, because one of our biggest views is when I called my mom during the Resident Evil playthrough.
Oh, yeah.
And like she was on the phone about my underwear, and then Luke was like, "This is like the best thing that could happen right now." And I had a lot of people tell me in person, like, that was really fucking funny. Well, today, instead of on the 10th podcast, when we could have done like a top 10, which would have made a bit of sense, we're not doing top 11. We're doing our top 5s. And
Because Cinco de Mayo.
because Cinco de Mayo, because it's the 5th of May. That's what Cinco de Mayo means. Did you know that? It's not the 2nd of May. That would have been Doomsday Mayo.
No shit.
Shut up. I didn't know. I didn't know that's what you meant. I feel stupid now for fucking that up earlier.
What in the world is going on? Where am I?
So,
I guess we'll do like
yeah,
you do
yeah.
one, I'll do one. You do
So
one. Like
yeah,
you do
okay.
4, I'll do 4. You do 3.
Do 4.
Well,
We're,
no,
we're
I'm
doing top
saying, like-
fives, and then we do the number 1.
Bet.
What?
No, I'm saying like we go back and forth. Like you say your number 5, I'll do my number 5.
Oh, yeah, okay, got it.
Fuck.
Oh my god. You want to go first?
You can go first.
Okay, as always. I'm always coming first. Okay, so it'd be top 5 favorite albums. And I'm going to tell you why, because this shit's important to me. So, I'm kind of an idiot, and I actually have that part on my Apple Music. Cuz like you had to make a playlist out of your top 5 favorite albums, cuz that only makes sense. Now that we have all these streaming services, it's the way to go. Here it is. Top 5 albums. So my top 5 albums of all time. Oh shit. They had to be in order. I didn't even fucking realize because they're all so goddamn good.
I know, it was really hard.
Oh man. Now that I look at this, like the list, that's so fucking unfair. Okay, so I'll do my number 5 is Entities. It's just the Entities Aether album. The album is so fucking good. I remember when Brandon showed me that album, like, I don't know, dude. I think I was like 18, and it was like right when I moved into my mom's house.
Mm-hmm.
And it had to have come from, we were listening to some band called Substructure, and there's always like suggestions on YouTube on the sides, and it had to have been through them because there's probably no other way we would have found it. But then Entities was in that sidebar, and the next like 2 or 3 years changed for me. And I think like because of Entities, 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 my perception on how metal should be done. What? Don't you almost stick my fucking toe in your mouth? The way metal should be done changed for me, where you can make something spacey, and I hadn't really heard that before, and they're like, it's like a spiritual metal, and then like their lyrics are really fucking great, and they just had like crazy guitar work, and they don't even have a fucking drummer, and I was convinced that they did, and we were like, oh my god, their drummer is like gotta be so exhausted all the time because their drumming is insane, but it's just a computer, and it's 3 stoners. It's two guys just playing guitar, and then I think the bass is computer too, and then the vocalist. And holy shit! And I know they're stoners because they do like a recording of the album, and they fucking go out into the car, and they're like, they got weed in the center console, and they're like got all his bud on the center console, and they're like rolling a joint, and they're like, hey, and then they smoke it in the car, and then they go back into the recording studio like dead serious, like that album is the fucking shit. It's so good.
Okay, so mine.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Top 5. Number 5. It's so hard to like.
Wait. I'll do the service to everybody. I will put a link to every one of these albums in the bio, in the about section below, or whatever that is. This is the info down below. I'll put it in there. So if you want to groove to this stuff and you like, and not all of it's going to be metal for sure, because like Drew has a very different taste. Yeah, we have like a really. There's that picture of that girl, of like a pop girl, and then like the metal person. That's me for sure,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I like everything. So good. Okay, so this is Drew's number 5.
It's so hard to like compile a list because I think on my head, oh, it's so easy, and then once I like start thinking, I'm like, bitch,
fuck, these albums are so good.
I know, like literally, it's like 10, 10, 10.
Because we did a couple years ago, we did the top 5 EPs of all time, and that was actually way easier to do. But all of mine were pop music. Like none of them were metal, I don't think.
Yeah, well, my number 5 is Hannah's EP.
Yeah. That album is so fucking good.
I was gonna do her new one, but I don't
didn't
like it
that one as much.
I mean, it's cool that she did it all fucking on Twitch.
Yeah, I was listening to Black Orchid the other day.
And it's so much better than what Charlie has released from doing it at her house.
Yeah, I mean they're quite different.
But no, I'm just saying.
I think Hannah is more musically inclined than Charlie is.
Oh, I mean she has a voice. Yes.
Yeah, and she doesn't use autotune. Yeah,
but every song on there is angelic and fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're all 10 out of 10s. They're all perfect. Literally, all 5 of those. 5?
Yeah, I think it's Chimera. Yeah, it's 5.
All 5 of those songs are perfect.
Yeah, like Underwater, Chimera,
Dude,
fucking
Underwater.
Avalanche will blow your speakers out.
Fuck, dude.
Like, literally, they're all amazing and sad.
Yeah.
In a beautiful way.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's incredible.
I think it's really important for an album to give you the same feeling you get when you how do I put this? When you look at the album cover, it should give you the exact feeling of what the album is like.
And it does
on the
that.
Inside. And
exactly.
Does that. Yeah, it's like it looks like she's underwater or something.
Yeah, she's like laying in milk or something.
Something
it looks like
weird. Yeah, but she's like laying down underneath some kind of liquid, and it like perfectly represents how you feel when you listen to the album. Like Pang is like that too.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh damn it. I feel bad now that Pang wasn't in my. Let me make sure I got the right list. God damn it, because I said entities, but I know Pang isn't in this list that I have right here. Oh my god, which I would hate myself if Pang wasn't in there.
It was hard because thinking of Pang and Chairlift, I was like, which one do I want to put in there?
Oh, I know. I've listened to both those albums like a trillion times. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What the maybe I deleted that. Oh, now I'm so frustrated. That's crazy.
How dare you?
Yeah, I feel
Caroline.
like I can't believe. There's so many good albums.
I know, like it's so hard.
It's a tough pick. I might stay by the Entities one because that is like it's a perfect album. It's like a perfect metal album. It's kind of weird that like if you show Entities to anybody, they're like, "Who the fuck is this?
Who?
That sounds awesome." And it's like because it's like more instrumental than it is vocal, but his screams are like perfect. I think for my second, so my second choice or number 4 rather, right? Number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. My number 4 is going to be, damn. My number 4 is going to be probably Daybreakers. So it's Architect's Daybreaker album. That album just kills. The deluxe version, because the deluxe version has a bunch of extra songs that like is not on the regular version, and the regular version is good, but once you get deluxe, it's like it's not even fair.
That was a goodie.
That's a fucking great album. Yeah, they have a. I think so. Like partly what makes that album so good for me is that I found that I like started really getting into that album 2 albums later. So they have the Black Lost Forever album. They have All Our Gods. And then I was like, you know what? I feel like I wasn't around. Like I wasn't into Architects as much when, you know what? I got to do it justice and listen to it again. And I heard it in the car while delivering Papa John's. And I was like, holy fuck, what is that? And then I went back again and then listened to all the lyrics and I was like, holy shit. Then I watched the 100 Days documentary that they made that they crowdfunded for that album. And I learned so much about that band. And so that album, one, was a great change in them spiritually as like a band. And then like changed me as like those lyrics like really fucking hit me. All their lyrics in that album are fucking outstanding. But for them, they were like, when they were writing the album before this, they said that they had like this big head on their shoulders where they felt like they were better than like a lot of the other bands that were out there. So when they would go to like tours and shows, they felt like they fucking like own the world. And then during this album, or slightly before, they realized that having that state of mind is really like toxic. not only to yourself, but then to like the people you tour with. And they felt really bad. And so then they started changing like in themselves, which is fucking fantastic. So
I think All Our Gods is still my favorite.
oh dude, I mean that's on this list.
Oh,
So, which is kind of fucked up because it's I feel bad giving Architects 2, but All Our Gods like changed me as a person. But we'll get into that. But Daybreaker is like fucking amazing, and it's there's lyrics in there that like when I first started hearing them, I started crying. Like there was times where I listened to Alpha Omega, and it's like, if you could see me, or it was like, if you could speak, I know you'd say that there's more to me than meets the eye. And he's like, cause like he's talking about just being a decent person, and then like we're damned according to like Christian law. You're like damned for like the dumbest shit. And like you could see that I'm just like, if you could see, you'd see that I'm a decent person, and like I don't deserve this. And that was around the time where I was like, when Daybreaker was launching, that was right at the time where I was like really struggling with like whether or not I believed in Christianity and stuff. And they had These Colors Don't Run, and I made a painting off that song. And there's they say like, if there was a God, you would be the death of him. And I remember like hearing that, and I was like, damn, like, I started to think to myself like, and not because of this song, and that's like such like a lame lyric, but like it's strapped in the middle of this song where it's like our system is corrupt, and we're like,
oh, for sure.
It was just a song about the fucking government, and that we're like super fucked up. And it felt like how like the universe kind of tells you what you're thinking while you're thinking it. During that time, I was listening to this album, or I heard some of the songs from this album, like Alpha Omega and fucking These Colors Don't Run and stuff when it came out. And there was another album that I was trying to like bounce off of to recover from like my own. I was like, I'll listen to other music. And at the same time, I was like trying to go back to church with my sister and stuff. And I was trying to like almost convince myself like, no, like I should still be Christian. Like I can't have those thoughts. Like I'm agreeing with them. And then the next album they had Broken Cross on it, where it's like, God only knows why we're born to burn. And, that whole song is like so fucking good and brutal. But when I heard it, I was like I felt like really sick, because I really liked that song and I agreed with a lot of the lyrics. And at the time I was struggling with like an identity with it. So it's cool that I feel like as Architects has grown, I'm growing, and we're literally thinking about the same shit at the same time. Yep, and so I'll be thinking about like that shit, and then they drop an album where I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh fuck, like, when Cancer came out, Architect's album, my mom was just diagnosed with cancer, and so I was like just getting hit with that same shit. That didn't happen with like Saosin or Caroline Polachek or Charlie or like any other fucking band I know, but Architects they were like living my life with me, and it's still happening with like every album. It's crazy. Yeah,
Marina did that with me too.
I remember you saying that.
Even like her newest one, like even though it's is.
Yeah,
but
actually I agree with that same thing.
She molds to me too musically, so I'm kind of excited to see where the new one's at, because it's like, where am I gonna be at in life? What's this song gonna be about?
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I think Allie's kind of like that too, where it's like getting more serious, but maybe because they're older artists, that they go from like a less mature state of mind to a more mature state of mind as we mature ourselves, and we're maturing super quickly, and not like tooting our own horns or anything like that at all, but you and I have had like a lot happen to us as like youngins.
Yeah, that have made us fucking grow up.
Yeah. Like Drew moved out. You moved out like when you were super young.
Yeah, it was from your right parents. When I turned 18.
Into an apartment, like, only a couple miles down from his parents, but like you had to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
You had to do what was best for you.
such a struggle.
Yeah, and I was like having a fucking crazy life since I was born. So
Yeah, me too. I mean,
yeah,
it was an
divorced
escape.
parents and
Yeah,
both of us. Yeah,
shitty sibling. Well,
yeah,
a shitty sibling.
sibling. Yeah, yeah.
But-
and Mariah was dog shit to me until I was young, or until I was like 15.
My brother's still dog shit, so.
Yeah, I know, with the whole car situation. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
Ugh.
That's awful.
I think he's the reason why I grew up too, just because I saw that and was like, nope,
Can't. Yeah.
I'm not doing this to my parents. Nope.
It's the same thing when you like see what love
Mhm.
isn't to know what love is.
Mhm.
And that's how I balanced seeing growing up, being
Mhm.
like getting bullied like heavily when I was in middle school and like younger than that. Seeing that like this isn't how you treat people, because I don't want to be treated this way.
Yeah.
And then, like having all these girlfriends, seeing like what I want as someone who wants to develop myself. Like I want a good girlfriend. Like I don't want this shit. And then you kind of see like how you should treat other people and things like that. Then same with like my parents. Like if I ever become a parent, I know how I don't want to be. Yeah.
But yeah.
What's your
Oh yeah, my number 4.
what's your number 4?
It's by the band Chromatics,
Oh yeah, they're great.
and it's Closer to Grey. It's their newer album, well, newest album,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very like distinct electronically. Like it's very movie-like in a way. Like they even like shot the cover art and like all the promo for like it was a soundtrack to a movie. But like her voice is amazing in a way. Like it's very high pitched but also very monotone. Like she doesn't go a lot like Allie or something like
She
where
has a
she's
range.
just yeah,
The
like
range
she doesn't
is
have
missing.
that range.
Yeah.
But it works with the music and the vibe, and it's kind of like this album's kind of spooky in a way. Like it's like 80s 90s horror movie
Oh shit! I actually really like those.
but it's I mean
What drew you to that? Like to be like in your top, like you like those elements, but did it like speak to you in some way, or like the lyrics, or like lyrically was it
I mean
challenging
lyrically
to you?
it's really good too. I mean but it's mainly I mean her lyrics and her voice are amazing, but it's mainly like the instrumental part. Like the synth is so fucking good and so thought out, because they're an older band. Like they're pretty fucking old. They have a lot of albums and they release singles like every month. Like even since then, the album that they released last year, they've released like 5 singles.
Wow,
since then,
yeah,
'cause
nice.
They're always pumping out
That's
music.
so good that a band is active like that, though.
But yeah, it's because they know what to fucking do. Like they're very meticulous. And this guy, it's kind of weird because it's like Chromatics, and they're on a label called Italians Do It Better, which is owned by the guy that's in Chromatics, Johnny Jewel. But he also has his own separate thing. But then there's also like 4 other people that are a part of that label that are all like has his foot in it, but it's like females over here and over here and over here, like, but they're not like considered a band. It's just like, say, oh, I forgot her name, this other chick I listen, Desire. She's a part of that too, but it's just really weird. It's kind of like a cul-de-sac of
Of artists.
yeah, but
Huh.
like all on the same label and like all very similar, but
Yeah.
it's just interesting, like that whole area.
Yeah, I like when bands do that. That happened with like Woven War, was O Sleeper, and it was As I Lay Dying, and they like came together to make the Woven War album, which was like all new in itself, but it was a perfect combination of the 2 bands, and it was fucking great. That's like such an iconic album. Actually, I might download that and listen to it on the way home, because that album's like super fucking good. And like the artwork for it was really pretty too.
God,
That's
me too.
badass that like they can come together like that and make music. See, like that, if you don't know music theory, you couldn't do that. You can't come together and make like a separate band apart from like even your own music like interests. Because I know I mean, that's how it should be, because like you want to branch out and do something different. Then you guys have like different musical ideals, and you guys can like blend that together. It's that's actually fucking magical that you can do that.
Yeah, they're pretty talented.
They all make individual music, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
like Chromatics is like the biggest, or
Right.
most well known.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that. I'm not familiar with any of the other stuff.
But yeah, all the other stuff, it's like singles and stuff like that. But it's still all in like the same ecosystem of music, of labels, I guess.
That's so fucking amazing.
But yeah, that's one of the vinyls I bought when we were in Denton the first time. It was $40, but all their stuff's expensive for some reason. Like literally every album is at least $40. The singles,
but it's like a billfold, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's also because they're imported from Italy because they're Italian.
Yeah, now that's probably gonna be way harder with Corona.
Yeah,
Gonna Italy anything.
Yeah, because like all their singles and stuff, like literally like a single with 2 remixes is like $35.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah, it's insane, but I kind of want them. At least for
a lot of money.
At least for Shadow. Shadow's one of my favorite songs. Not on that album. It was actually a Twin Peaks song, but
oh, that's badass that they made it for Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Like originally or for the new Twin Peaks?
New Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like the first song that they showed at the end. They always had like a little band going at the end.
That's cool.
But yeah. Anyway, your top 3. Number 3.
I don't even have to look at it. Pang, Caroline Polachek. Easily. That album, I have listened to Pang for the first, honestly, for like the first 6 months, I probably listened to Pang every day all the way through.
That's my number 3 too, so we can just...
Is it really? Oh, so we can just merge it together?
Yeah.
So we both pick Pang. Hey.
Yeah, I listen
doing,
to it
boy?
at least twice a week.
I listen to it all the time. Seriously.
Hey, Major.
Hey, little boy. What are you doing?
What you doing? You sniffing? You trying to join us? Ooh, look at all that dust coming off of you.
I pick Pang for sure, man. Like, that has become
yeah.
one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
And she was gone down as like in my top 3 favorite vocalists of all time, beating out like so many others. And I'm a huge fucking fan of like London Grammar, Hana, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
I don't know her last name. Pestle, Hannah Pestle.
Oh yeah, London Grammar.
Man, I know, and I felt bad for not being more dedicated to London Grammar as a...
They're probably top 5 musicians, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. As an artist, she's
Yeah.
one of my favorite vocals of all time. But Pang, Caroline Polachek has... Man, like you showed me Chairlift, like the season before Pang came out.
Yeah, because they were an actual band, but they dispersed because the guy had kids and stuff like that. So Caroline was like, "Okay, I'll go do my own thing," and then that's when she was like dropping singles and doing stuff with Charlie. And she came out fucking swinging.
Damn, dude, I never expected it to be so good, and you showed me Door, and I was like, what the fuck? That's so good.
That's probably my favorite music video, like
ever. Yeah, not ever for me, but top 5 music videos for me easily.
Like
it's such a
perfect,
beautiful looking music video, and it's so entertaining to watch. It's like so stonery,
and like so artistic. Like
it's a really artistic.
Going in the mirrors like 70 times.
Yeah, it's
and
like
it's just
an Inception thing.
Yeah,
it's so awesome.
But it's just beautiful. Like her voice is.
Oh my god, she
phenomenal.
has her lyrics are top tier too. So it's not just the voice, it's the composition of how it's made. It's perfect. Every single song, you don't skip one. You don't. That's why I'm saying, like, I listened to the album every day for like 6 months.
Oh, me too.
And I didn't skip a song. I don't skip songs because they're all fucking good.
Yeah, it's not like I'm tired of this one. It's like I will listen to this fully every time.
Yeah. She I made a painting based off Parachute.
Yeah.
That is my wife parachuting.
And her voice in that. Ooh.
That song has
her
like
range.
Just the most beautiful range of like vocalization. And she had like, the song is just about faith. It's just so beautiful. It's like, I imagine like people breaking up. I imagine like somebody gets out of a bad relationship being like the airplane and you jump out and you don't know if you're going to make it. and then you pull the parachute and you just let the wind take you.
Yeah.
And she talks about, going towards the sea, and then she's like, I'm not afraid of drowning. And then after her acceptance of drowning, it pulls her back into the beach, and she lands softly on the soft ground. There's a beautiful line. Okay, so I'll tell my experience with Pang. Once the album dropped, I stopped everything I was doing. I had these like crazy Bluetooth headphones that I almost never use.
Yeah, I wish I would come home from Anthony's and listen to it, and then listen to it again when I got in bed.
And I put these headphones in, and I closed my eyes, and I covered my eyes, so it was just like blackness, and I listened to the album start to finish. I skipped the singles because I had already heard those. Yeah. And when I came across Insomnia, I had this. I'm not even bullshitting. I had like a visualization or like a trip.
It's me too. Like, it's so funny that's the same song.
That song,
like, we both texted each other like
fucking magical.
What we imagined in that, and I was like, yeah, it's like so insane that clearly music. That song. I mean, music in general, but clearly that song has the power to like make you envision like a scenario.
Music has like a strong influence on people, period. On plants, animals, and people. We all have like a strong pull towards music, which is crazy to me when people say that they don't care for music, or like, I don't have a favorite band or whatever. I don't listen to music that often. I'm like, are you fucking high?
Like, literally listening to music takes me out of this world. Like, I will go into a daydream, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes like I'll envision either like them singing or like a music video or like scenarios like that, which, I mean, I don't know if normal people do that.
I don't know, and we're not stoned when we're talking about. So when I had my visual with Insomnia on that Pang album, I wasn't stoned or anything. I was just laying down hanging out, and I visualized myself in like this weird water, and like I was like resting, and there was like this grade above my head, like like these bars. And when she got to the climax of the song, she like picked me up with her voice, and I like floated through the bars, like I ethereally went through the bars, was up in the sky. I could feel my body like floating in the air, and then she like took me back gently through back onto the water, but there was no more bars. I was just like in this water, and it was so peaceful. And it was, I remember taking the headphones off and like going over to my wife and telling her that, and she was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "I'm not kidding. That was like the most beautiful song I had ever heard."
I know.
And in that song, she has these lyrics of like, "How long do you stay in the water when the bath runs cold?" And like, that's so fucking philosophical and beautiful. Where it's like, when you're in like a situation that starts out nice, like, and it gets bad, when do you get out? Like, clearly everything around you is telling you to go, but like you're complacent and you've like made rest with something that sucks.
Isn't good for you.
It's not
holding you back.
It's holding you back. And like there's so many lyrics in that album that strike me. Like, "You're so hot, you're hurting my feelings." Like, that just, she's seeing somebody and hearing like the songs that remind them of each other, and it like kills her. And that's like another way I love. One, the music video is fucking amazing, and she dances to that song like so perfectly.
I love how she like progressively gets like more wet because she's dancing in hell. Like she's getting like sweaty. Like, that's so cool to me too.
She's so amazing.
Details. But
easily.
But
what was your vision that you had?
Mine was the one where I was in like that cathedral. I like walked in, and I mean, you could only hear her singing, but she was just saying where like the preacher is, like just standing up there singing in like all white, and like the whole cathedral was totally white, like there wasn't anything except for stained glass like behind her, and it had like people in it and like different poses and stuff, but it was all like her. But I like sat down and was like just sitting on my knees looking at her singing, and like once the chorus comes in and like the background choir starts like going off, like the stained glass was like moving their lips and singing with her.
Whoa.
That was the thing that was happening. Like I was envisioning, like they were like moving like stained glass people would, like
Yeah.
like 2D,
Yeah.
but they were like singing with her and moving with her, and like once their part stopped, they would stop, and
What the
like
fuck?
yeah, that's how mine was.
So amazing.
It
And
was
I
just
don't
like,
think I've ever had another album do something like that to me.
no,
I mean, maybe I've never taken the time to like sit down and just like have it to myself, but I respect her so much. And Marina, I do too, for sure.
yeah,
But I already didn't really like where Marina was going, and I really liked what Caroline was doing the whole time. And I have such a respect for her and the way she uses her voice and stuff that I felt like she needed my time, that she deserved my time and like my respect. That's why I didn't want to listen to it like, oh, while I'm at work and I'm just like giving it like a half thought, which I do with a lot of music where I'm
Yeah.
like, a new band
Just
will drop
background
some
music.
singles and I'm like, oh, check this out. I did that with Charlie. Currents recently had 3 new songs and I just listened to it in my downtime. But with Caroline, I was like fucking floored by the entire
like her
thing.
voice is very unique and kind of unreal. Like it sounds like she has auto tune, but she doesn't. Like
No,
that's
and she
literally
posted
her
a
fucking
video.
point.
She posted a video on her Instagram. She was like, oh, some people think I'm using auto-tune. And while she's discussing people shit-talking her, she's singing her feelings and her thoughts. Just like she does on the album. She's too fucking amazing, dude. She's not like any other artist I know.
No, she's
This is going to sound like this is my number one, but it's not. Fucking amazing. Holy fuck. What's your number 2?
what is my number 2? Oh, Marina.
Yeah. Which one?
Froot.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Froot, like at first, back when it came out, I was so like disappointed in a way with it
I need to go back and listen to that.
because like listening to like Family Jewels and stuff like that, like it's
Electro Heart.
yeah, like it's just slower and not as poppy, and like, it was something that she did on her own, like
Oh,
lyrically.
Fruit was yeah.
Yeah.
Because like Electro Heart was
was-
Family Jewels was kind of more like Amy Winehousey,
Yeah,
poppier.
which is really fucking good too. Like it's probably my number
definitely.
2, just because it's so much weirder and like more experimental in a way. Like she's like trying new shit in it and like being different. And then Electro Heart was very like, I'm a pop star, this is it.
Yeah.
Which I'm gonna give you all fucking good songs.
Right. Yeah, they're all fucking.
They're all
amazing.
fucking good, but Fruit just like getting age and growing older with Fruit, like it's made me come back to it and like see how attached to it I really am.
Yeah.
And it's like literally perfect in a way to me. Like Happy is so good,
Yeah.
and
Her acoustic versions
so
of that
sad.
song are amazing.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Like the acoustics. Like I wish you would release an album.
Oh, I know. I would love to just have like an acoustic version of her best songs. Oh.
But yeah, like Happy is so crazy in a way, like, and sad just because it's about like her finding someone and finally being happy for the first time and then realizing it's not really what it seems. And
She seems happy now though.
yeah,
With whoever that new dude is, who looks like very stoic all the time.
oh, I know.
He doesn't look like he has a lot of facial expression. I thought he was like some cameo artist, and then it was it's like her boyfriend. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they don't really fit. 'cause
Yeah, but if you're happy, you're happy.
Yeah.
She's like crazy pretty, and he's like,
normal.
he's like a stick of broccoli.
Oh my god.
Hey man.
But yeah, like I love it through and through. It's kind of jazzy in a way, like with Fruit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. It's just very different. Like
That
Savages.
bass line. Ooh, that bass line of Fruit.
But then there's like Savages talking about how
Fuck,
horrible
dude.
society is.
Dude, that song
and-
is so easily convertible to metalcore.
Oh, I know. It's,
Fucking perfect.
Savages is probably the best song on there.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Immortal was really good too.
I want want to be immortal. Yeah.
So like drawn out, and I was like,
Yeah.
this sucks. Back when it
You
came
didn't
out,
like it back then.
but I was like
didn't
so
like
disappointed.
a lot of slow music back then, and now I can kind of appreciate it.
But yeah, now I can go back to it. I'm like, I connect with this so much.
Oh, Corona.
So much more. Like Gold is really good. Solitaire is really good.
Yeah.
Like, living your life in solitaire, and like,
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, don't come for me, Marina, with these.
Yeah, I didn't, and I listened to that maybe like a year ago, and hearing those songs like Weeds, Gold, Immortal, I didn't really ever hear them the first time.
Uh-huh.
But Froot came out right when you were showing me Marina.
Yeah.
And so I was like, it was too polarizing. I think it was too quick because
Yeah, because you didn't really like her then. Like you weren't. Like,
I wasn't like dead on her yet. And it wasn't until like the year after you showed me where I was like, oh my God, give me more Marina.
Uh-huh.
And there was a big hiatus.
Yeah, then it's like, oh, 5 years or 4 years.
Something like that. And
yeah, 4 years.
I think when it came to, because I went backwards. So I had to go from Froot, which I was like, because back then I was like a party guy.
Yeah.
And I was like doing beer pong and shit like that. So I was like, this is jazzy, slow shit.
Yeah.
And then I went back and I listened to like Electro Heart, Fell in Love, Family Jewels, Fell in Love. And then I couldn't get on Froot besides Froot and Savages.
Uh-huh.
And Blue, and I was big on Blue because Blue was converted into that like the poppier version, and I was like, holy fuck, there we go. But then the rest of the albums I kind of forgot about until I was older, and I was like 24 or something, and I was like,
yeah,
now I can appreciate it, which is great because music is always going to be there, which is why we're talking about it now, because it's still there for you. It's like waiting for you to rediscover it.
Uh-huh.
That's fucking amazing.
Yeah. So what's yours?
I'm gonna look at this list, but I'm like not certain. Oh, you know what? I'm dead certain. My second favorite album is All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us. All Our Gods Have Abandoned Us by Architects. And you know what? You can get mad at me, but I have a tattoo of Architects on my leg. So yeah, they are my favorite band, and they deserve 2 spots in my top 5 because, as I said, like they were changing with me, like as the time had passed through.
Uh-huh.
This album, I was like living me and my wife just moved out into an apartment, and I felt like I was going through something, and I didn't really understand what it was, but I was certain at that time, I was dead certain that I wasn't into Christianity anymore. I wasn't into like, I didn't believe a lot of the same stuff I believed when I was growing up, and I went through like all the conspiracy shit, and I went through like I realized that our government is all fucked up, and that like politicians are bullshit, business is bullshit, the monetary system is all fucked up, and I'm like, I was kind of myself a nihilist. And then they fucking come out with a song called Nihilist, where it's like, we're all beggars, we're all we're all so fucking weak. Once upon a time we had the world at our feet, we're all dying to meet our maker, but all our gods have abandoned us. And when that song hit me, I still listen to that song, and I'm so fucking pumped up when I hear it, because not only because it's written so it gets you super jacked for the music, but it's like a great kickoff to the album, and lyrically that song kicks so much ass. And I always like making paintings based off of music, and this song has like some of the best lyrics. My wife loves this song too, where it's I found God clutching a razor blade. He said, look at the fucking mess we made. They trade their hearts if they were made of gold, but they're as worthless as the souls they sold. And that's like slam. Like I made a painting that's like weird and like cartoony abstract based on that, because that's some shit to think about, man. And all our gods have abandoned us. Like when you listen to like their interviews on it, they're talking about how like we worship Kim Kardashian's ass instead of worshiping the gods. And just like the Greek gods have passed beyond us, and like the Egyptian gods have passed beyond us, and like we're just on the new thing, being like Mormonism and Christianity and things like that, Scientology, those being the new gods, and the newest gods are really like science and things like that. We have they've like really left us, where it's like all our gods have abandoned us. They've left us because we're like hopeless. And it's like hopeless to try to like get us back, because like we've given up on the things that matter. And I think I was kind of angry at the world at that time, and I felt like that kind of played its part. But they have lyrics in that album that strike me like a fucking lightning bolt. And there's what song is it? I'm gonna sound like an idiot if I get it wrong. Gone with the Wind.
Oh, that's my favorite on there. Without a doubt.
This song, man, is like lyrically fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite of theirs.
It's my favorite song on that album. And this song, when I like think of the lyrics, makes me like want to break down, man. When I hear, of all the patterns. So the lyrics are, of all the patterns that I could create, I built a labyrinth with no escape. I put myself under lock and key. I am my own worst enemy. And that song is so fucking much about depression. And man, especially when this album came out, which I think I was like 19 or 20, I was like so slammed with depression, dude. And it was tough. Oh no, I think I was 21, but I was slammed with depression, and it fucking was, it was definitely felt like a weight that I was carrying around all the time. And that like perfectly summed it up. Like I built a labyrinth. I built it. This is like, I did this to myself. And grant, you take the catalyst in, that is the world. And, people do shit to you, but it's just like someone can have any kind of upbringing, and you can have a brother and a sister. And this is a good example because I have a sister. And you guys experience like generally the same shit, and then one of you guys has a totally different life. Like my sister's like crazy Christian, and her husband is like hardcore Christian too. And no offense, Brian, I love Brian, but they're both way different than I am, where I'm not Christian. I don't care about that stuff. And what is important to me is like the spirit, like the soul, and like the spiritual growth, not a set of dogma that you have to follow to be whatever is dictated to be what makes you good. And not being gay or whatever is fucking absurd. And I'm way more based on free will and love and unity and that stuff. And I've never been taught that as a kid, right? Not through any dogma or religion.
No, you gotta find that shit out yourself.
There are dogmas and religions that are out there that do teach that, like Buddhism and Wiccanism and things like that teach you kindness and unity, but those aren't heavily accepted in the West. So what's my point? The point is that I was like super depressed and all that, and this album was perfectly during the time where I was really, really going through some shit. And at the end, they have Memento Mori, and Memento Mori is obviously Latin for be mindful of death. And that song was like right at the end, perfectly as an album dies, it goes through that, and that song perfectly leads into the next album, Holy Hell. And they play on that song a lot because Tom dies. And that was when Tom died, dude. I woke up crying to like that information. Like I'm like sitting in my bed, and I find out Tom dies on my phone at like 9 a.m. and I'm like crying to my wife, and I'm like, man, like I wasn't sad because I knew Tom. I was sad because I knew that everyone in the band, the band I care about so much, would all be devastated. And just knowing that like a whole band would be destroyed. And I was scared because I was like, man, they're going to give up on music. I'm scared they're going to give up on themselves because they're already writing, like they're broken. And I felt so bad. And then, just like thinking of like you or Kaylee, thinking of someone who like matters so much to me, and then being like, taken away. And the fucked up thing with Tom was that he had cancer, he beat the cancer, they made some albums, and then the cancer came back and hit him harder. Then it took him. So it's like fate gave him a second chance, but it was like, what was cool was that the band could recover from that.
Yeah.
And that second chance kind of gave them a second wind, and then inspired them to make a newer album about death, which is not in my top 5 albums of all time, but it deserves its place really high up for me because when they made Holy Hell, I was really going through the thoughts of death a lot. And I was like, I'm 25. Like, why am I thinking about this all the time?
Yeah, you really were, actually.
Yeah, I was really fucked up about death. And it was like all I think. And I still make a lot of my paintings based on death. And as I read you my thesis earlier, I was like, a lot of it's about death and about the transition between moving on, letting go, like kind of stepping off the edge and kind of building your wings on the way down. Yeah, man, that band grows with me, and that album is groovy as fuck. It's like perfectly, every song on there is fucking amazing. And I've seen them live 5 fucking times, and they play mostly that album because that album kicks ass. So fucking
yeah.
All right. What's your number 1 before I start crying or something?
Oh my god. How long have we been going?
Ah!
Oh my
god.
god.
In the face with a mic. 50 minutes, 53.
Oh, wow.
But we stopped a couple minutes to try
so
to
we
fix
can
the
just
audio.
be done with this after.
Okay.
Mine was really difficult. Like, I knew who it was gonna be without a doubt, and I wish I found this person sooner because I'm so fucking kicking myself for it. But Bat for Lashes.
Bat for Lashes. I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah, like, she is. I can't even put it into words how perfect she is. Like, live, in the studio, as a person in general, like, she is a fucking angel. And she's in her 40s and doesn't look it whatsoever. And now she's pregnant, I just realized.
Really?
But yeah, my favorite album of hers is really hard because I literally
Love them
give
all.
them all a fucking 10.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm gonna go with The Bride. The Bride.
Yeah.
It wasn't her most recent album. It was the one
That
prior.
album is fucking sad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's really cool because it's a concept album. It's like literally a story, and she's so fucking good at telling stories in music and songs. And
which can get very carried away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like sometimes like she'll have a song on an album that's a story, and that'll be it. And like they don't tie together, but this whole album, The Bride, is a story, like from start to end. Like they all go together because they're all about a woman who is getting married, and then she thinks her soon-to-be husband gets cold feet and runs off, but he actually dies on the way to the wedding. And so she doesn't realize that until she's driving home and like running away from embarrassment that she was left on the altar. And so she's like having all these visions and stuff while she's up there, or bad things happening. Like she sees her husband getting in a car wreck and stuff, and when she's driving back and going on her honeymoon alone, she sees his car and it's like in flames and stuff, and she finds out that he died. And then it's like the rest of the album is her acceptance with grief and how she deals with it, and like she tries to run away from everything and finally realizes that she has to accept that he's gone, and she like meets him in his dreams, and it's all about acceptance really. And like it's perfect. Like Joe's Dream is probably one of my favorite songs of all time. It's my number 2 of hers. Number 1 is Two Sons. Well, is on Two Sons. It's Glass, because her voice is 500 out of 10 on that song.
That's not a right scale, bro.
Like, it's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And I've spent so much money on her. Like,
yeah, on those vinyls.
Yeah, because they're all like old and rare. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I will die for her.
Yeah, I almost bought a fucking $40. I think it was like $45 for an Architects vinyl that I don't have the Hollow Crown vinyl, and I was like, man, this guy's charging $30, no, $60 all around, because like he was charging $35 for the vinyl, and I was like, okay, I'll spend $35. And then the shipping wasn't determined, and then it was on Discogs, and then he was going to charge me $25 for shipping. It's like, are you fucking high?
It's
$60 for a vinyl.
It's media mail. Come on, it's not that
Yeah.
fucking heavy. Or
Man, I was like, it's not even my favorite album. I just want it because it's the last Architects album I don't have. And then I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it just because out of spite. I was like, they'll probably re-release Hollow Crown on vinyl somewhere, and I'll just get it then.
I wish I could say I spent as little as $45 on her.
60 because of the shipping, but yeah.
But
well, I know, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I know you spent a lot.
Yeah, the cheapest one
But
I got.
they're bigger though. It's not just a fucking sleeve.
Well, this is a box set. I bought.
Yeah, this isn't. It was just like one little
Well,
vinyl
yeah, no,
inside a sleeve.
Well, Two Sons, I paid $75 for plus shipping, and that's
crazy.
just an album, because it's
So much.
so rare now.
Yeah.
But then her newest album, I paid $24. Got it in Denton, which is also a 10. But then like the box set for the Bride, I got super lucky and found that for $100.
Oh wait, I did order that Hollow Crown vinyl, but I got it on Amazon, and it was unlisted. Like it didn't have an image. It was just a random record company selling it for $10, free shipping. Yeah, suck my balls. Discogs. I'm not buying your fucking $60 vinyl. I bought it for $10. I get it tomorrow, so I'll tell you if it's fucked up or not.
Because
Because it didn't have an image, and I was like, why does it have an image?
It's just the packaging, or the sticker that said it's Hollow Crown.
I'd be so fucking mad, but it comes from a record company, so you would think that they would care. Go on, though. Sorry. I just had to resolve that because I ended up getting the vinyl.
But then I bought the box set for Lost Girls, and that was $175.
Holy shit, dude. But it's a collector's thing. It's like a full
Yeah, I mean,
box.
it was $100. Well, $115 more than it was when she released it before it sold out.
Jesus.
But it came with so much shit, like a signed vinyl, cassette tapes, postcards, like a bunch of shit. Which I mean, really materialistic. I don't need, but with
You
her,
kind of do need.
But yeah, with her. So I'm only missing two. One of them is actually $40, and then another one is Haunted Man, which is really fucking good. It's very rare though, and it's been out of print since like the year it released, so it's in the upper hundreds to buy, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she's literally everything to me. Like, I'll show you a really good song of hers after this.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Like she just like literally like gets in my skin. And
Do you feel like you like connect with her like on a personal level in some way?
yeah, like she's very, I don't know, I feel like very spiritual with her because she's very spiritual herself, and it's just things like that.
Damn, dude.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I would ever spend $175 on a band I didn't think was my favorite.
I don't even think I would spend that on Marina, honestly.
I don't think I would spend that on I didn't spend $60 on Architects. So no, I wouldn't spend $175. But the thing is, Architects has a lot of my money already.
Yeah.
I have like 5
Shows
shirts.
and-
I have like, I might have more than that. I actually think I have 8 because I just got one again. I recently just got another fucking Architect shirt instead, and it's like a fucking cloaked dude, and he has like his hand on like someone begging to him, like he's absolving them, and on the back it says we're rotten to the core. And it's a really high quality shirt. It's like super soft and it looks badass. It's like a full print, but the full print, or it's almost a full print, and like the texture of it's really unique looking. It's like line printed. I don't know how to put it, but like it's like slashes instead of like just blobs of of white print. It's like it's like really, really, really tiny detail. It's cool though. And then I got that Hollow Crown vinyl that was, I got used for like $10. And then I've been to their shows like 5 times.
Yeah.
I have collector's editions of all their vinyls. I have the Doomsday vinyl. Like, they get my money. I
Yeah.
have 2 versions of almost every vinyl that they have because I have them in colored versions too. So
Yeah, but it's the only thing about her is like she never comes here because she's like over there like in England and stuff.
that's a big deal. So when she comes over here, it'll be a big deal. And
Oh.
that's what Novelist was like. And I'm so glad I saw them because their fucking vocalist just quit the band. And I was like, well, thank fucking the gods I got his signature on 2 of his albums. And I saw him in person, talked to him, and I saw him live. So
Still
yeah.
that shit.
And mine are like encased in glass, so I really technically could, but it's kind of fucked up because I love them so much. They were in my top 5, but I changed it for paying because that Novelist album is super fucking good. Noir, so good. My number 1 is Saosin, just Saosin, the white album with the beetle. It's just like self-titled. That's my favorite album of all time. It would be unfair and untrue if I put anything else up there. And lyrically, that album isn't like crazy amazing, but that album has been my favorite album since 2007 when it was launched. It has consistently been my favorite album for 13 years. And it's just as re-listenable. Like, I have listened to that album probably, no bullshit, I probably listened to either a song or the album every week. Probably since it's come out. And I don't even want to exaggerate. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I listen to that album all the fucking time. Like, every playlist I make, I put something from the album on there. If it's like a mixed playlist. If I'm listening to music at work, I'll put Saosin on. Like, that album, the guitarist, I think his name's Matt, won Guitarist of the Year. He, in, I think, Guitar Magazine. That whole album is so fucking amazing, and you only very recently listened to it.
Yeah, which it really was good, actually.
It's fucking so good. And it was so different from like anything on at that time. It was like on another level. Like, the guitar work is amazing. Cove can sing his ass off in that album. There was like, he had range, which most vocalists in my genre didn't have back then, and weren't trained in singing, and he could sing. And there isn't a sour song. There's no bad songs on that album. There's no bad parts on that album. There's no this part though, or this breakdown, or this and that. Like, there's nothing displeasing about that album whatsoever. It's fucking perfect. It's one of my wife's favorite albums of all time. And it's just so well written. The guitar work is complicated. It's catchy and fun and entertaining and unique because they perfectly mix the right amount of synth. And it's not like they might have some piano at times, but they don't. It's like unique sounding synth. It's like I've never heard anything like them before. It's like the first time you hear Linkin Park, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm just moving my foot."
Scared the shit out of me.
But it's like Linkin Park, where you heard Linkin Park and you're like, "There's no one else in the world like this band," and there still isn't. And Saosin was like that for me, where it's like, I still haven't heard anyone like Saosin. And if I made a band, I would want to model it after Saosin, but I wouldn't. But that's like the stars you should shoot for, where it's like music that's so good that you should copy it and make it your own. It's called Stealing Like an Artist, where you like, there's also a book called Stealing Like an Artist. It's really good. It's like a little square book, and it's the same thing, man. It's like you see something amazing and you're like, someone has to do that again and do it better. And not that it's bad, but if you shoot higher, you'll get better and you'll make it your own in your own way. You know, you're not going to make it identical to the Saosin album. And what's crazy is that Saosin made an album after that, In Search of Solid Ground. That's a good album, but it's like a 6 compared to the 10 that is the original. And I don't know how they went from one to the other. They're so different, but holy fuck. And there was a big gap. I think it was 2007 to 2011. That's how big the gap was between the albums. So they had all the time in the world, and I don't know why one is way worse than the other, but and I don't even think it's nostalgia, man. Like I listen to that album all the time, and I showed Luke that album, and he was blown away. And Luke doesn't like fucking anything, and he loved that album. It's a fucking great one, and I can't really say much about it lyrically, but everything else about it is perfect. Like it's a perfect album. There's nothing wrong lyrically, but it's not like Architects where they're like philosophical. Like he says until I come. Like at one point he says like he literally says like until I come inside. Like he's literally talking about coming at that part. But like it's a serious album, man. It's I couldn't bullshit. I would be bullshitting you if I didn't tell you that was my favorite album of all time, because it has been for 13 years. It's fucking perfect. The runners up for me, a runner up album was Asley Dying's Powerless Rise album. That album is amazing, and I love like 80% of that album. And I think the only reason why it's not my number in my top is because there are some songs where I'm like, but I listen to that album almost just as frequently as Saosin. And yesterday I listened to it on my way home, and Kaylee was like, "Are we gonna listen to Asley Dying all day?" And I'm like, "I would, but we don't have to." I think if we do another one and we do artists, and we talk about the artists, which we can, Asley Dying is gonna be on there because despite what Tim Limbesses had done, and like he hired a hitman to kill his wife at one point, that band has my respect, man. Like that band is fucking amazing, and they are like one of those metalcore bands that like made the genre and was always ahead of the genre up until like right now. But there was a big hiatus because Tim went to jail. Yeah. So there was a big hiatus, and they had to like learn what to do without him. So they are like pioneers. So. And that's not why I choose them. I'm not going to choose Metallica. They're pioneers, but I don't give a fuck.
No, Metallica's dookie.
They are dookie, but I would... Asley Dying is like pioneers, and they're fucking amazing.
Good. Yeah.
So we'll go off at a different time maybe about artists, and we'll talk a little more about that Marina aspect. Caroline maybe again, because I mean, we really went off about Caroline, but honestly, like...
She deserves more.
She deserves more. I wish I could really go off and... really tell you how much I appreciate her as an artist. But I mean, just do your own research, man. You guys got to listen to these albums. If you're going to listen to nobody, just listen to Bat for Lashes and Caroline Polachek. And cause not everyone's going to like the things I like. Not everyone likes metal and stuff, but, quite honestly, Architects deserves like all the respect in the world. And there's a reason why they're like the number 3 metal band in the world. 'Cause they fucking are so good. They're like good dudes. They care. I wish we could see them in person and like have a conversation, but they're so big now that you just gotta like dip out. You don't see fucking Charlie coming down and talking to anybody, or like Caroline, or I don't know. We haven't gone to the Caroline one. I meant Charlie or Kim Petra. Like Kim Petra didn't come down and talk to us, and she's kind of big, you know. So let alone Architects, who have made like 8 albums or whatever, and they're all amazing, and they're the biggest fucking UK metal band. So yeah, you can just check it out. Check the info down below.
Listen, bitch.
Listen and give yourself like some time, add them to your Apple Music or whatever, or your Spotify,
or just fucking YouTube them.
Or just YouTube it and add it to your save for later. If you're not going to listen to them all, just at least give them a shot. And I could put like the biggest songs there next to it if you just want to like scroll to those big songs, but you'd be doing yourself a service for sure listening to these bands. I wish some of the other podcasters I listen to would put out more suggestions, because I know when I listen to Super Mega and Matt finally put out like some of his big stuff on Spotify, I was really stoked because I found Kill Bill the rapper, who was amazing as a rapper. I don't even like rap, but I like the way he sounds. He kind of sounds like Tyler the Creator, but less like nasty, I guess. And he does like some cool anime shit, and he'll do like snips from animes and stuff like that. And so I wish I got more musical suggestions, because I wouldn't have found Currents or oh man, there's like currents and there's fucking, oh man, volumes and like people like them were at like, I got those suggestions from friends, and I wouldn't have, fallen in love with Molotov Solution if it weren't for Brandon. I wouldn't have fallen in love with Entities if it weren't for Brandon. And, the plethora of other bands that I've like, you showed me Caroline, but you showed me Chairlift.
Yeah.
And that springboarded me into putting her in my top 5 albums, top 3 artists of all time.
Yeah.
So if you don't suggest music, I don't know how the fuck you're getting it. And you're going to listen to the same fucking albums all the time. But we need new shit. And I get bored with music all the time. And Drew's the one who keeps me up to date and like helps me with finding new artists that I fall in love with. And
yeah,
I wouldn't. Marina, you introduced me to Marina. And man, like I was like literally like.
That shit gay. See ya.
She's so fucking amazing. It turned me around, man. As someone who listened to music religiously, I didn't branch out to like that genre, and if it weren't for you, I don't know what kind of music I would even be into.
I got your little sweet spot.
Oh, you found my sweet spot, and he likes to tickle my sweet spot, and now
I tickle it all the fucking time now.
Yeah, he sends me little messages on my phone with suggestions. So check that out, man. Do yourself a service.
Check it.
Okay, I love you. I sound all serious now, but I'm okay.
Are you?
No.